Miso and soy sauce. You have probably tasted both today without even thinking about it. Most people assume they are basically the same thing. Two salty, brown, fermented soy products from Japan. But that assumption hides one of the biggest misunderstandings in the kitchen. Because miso and soy sauce start from almost the same handful of ingredients. And then they split into two completely different worlds. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why one builds the body of a dish and the other finishes it. And there is one shared secret behind both of them that almost nobody ever talks about. Let's decode this properly. No myths, no snobbery, just the real logic. Miso is a thick paste. Soy sauce is a thin liquid. But the real difference is not about texture at all. It is about what each one is built to do. One of them is a foundation. The other one is a final touch. And to understand that, we have to look at how they are actually made, because that is where they quietly go their separate ways. Quick pause before we go deeper. If you're enjoying this so far, tap that like button below the video. It really helps me reach more food lovers like you. And if you're new here, subscribe to Food Decoded for weekly deep dives into what you're really eating. So let's start where they both begin. Soybeans, salt, and a quiet little mold called koji. Koji is the real engine here. It is a cultured mold grown on grain, and its whole job is to break big, bland molecules into small, savory ones. This is the shared secret I promised you. Both miso and soy sauce are built by koji. That mold is their common ancestor. It is the reason either of them tastes of anything at all. Those small, savory molecules are what your tongue reads as umami. Without koji, a plain soybean would just taste dull and flat. But after koji, the two paths split. And the split comes down to one thing: water and time. For miso, koji-cultured rice or barley is mixed with crushed soybeans and salt. Then it is packed down tight and left to ferment. The result stays thick. It holds on to the whole soybean, the proteins, the fats, the body. That is why miso is a paste. It is the entire bean, transformed, but still complete. Open a tub of miso, and you smell something deep and rounded, almost like warm bread and earth. Open a bottle of soy sauce, and it is sharper and brighter, like roasted grain and salt in the air. Soy sauce takes a very different turn. The soybeans are usually combined with roasted wheat, then koji, then a lot of salty water. This creates a loose, sloppy mash called moromi, and that mash ferments for months, sometimes for years. Here is the move that changes everything. After fermentation, soy sauce is pressed and filtered. The solids get thrown away. What you keep is only the liquid, the concentrated essence of all that work. The very best soy sauce can age for a year or more before it is pressed. Time does the slow, invisible work the whole way through. So picture it side by side. Miso keeps the whole bean. Soy sauce keeps only the perfume and discards the rest. And this single decision shapes how you use each one for the rest of its life. Miso carries weight. It brings protein, thickness, and a deep savory base to whatever it touches. Soy sauce carries sharpness. It brings salt, aroma, and a bright top note that hits you fast. Think of it like music. Miso is the bass line you feel in your chest. Soy sauce is the high, clear melody that cuts through and grabs your attention. You can taste the same split in a teriyaki glaze. The sticky shine and the sharp edge come from soy sauce, never from anything thick or pasty. You can actually hear both of them in a single bowl of ramen. The deep body of the broth often leans on miso or something like it. The final seasoning, the part that makes it pop, often leans on soy sauce. One holds the whole room, the other points the way. And once you can feel that difference, you start tasting it everywhere. A glaze, a broth, a dipping bowl, a marinade. Once you know what to listen for, each one tells you which sibling is in charge. If what you just learned surprised you, do me a small favor. Drop a like on this video. It helps other curious eaters find this exact breakdown when they need it most. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect moment, because the most interesting part is coming up next. So here is the practical question. Can you just swap one for the other? The honest answer is no. And the reason is structure, not just taste. Miso is concentrated but soft. When you stir it into a hot broth, it melts and spreads through the entire liquid. That is also why you add miso right at the end. Boil it hard,
and you kill the living aromas you worked so long to build. Soy sauce behaves in the opposite way. It is thin and aggressive, so even a small
and the whole dish turns flat and harshly salty. Soy sauce is a scalpel, not a shovel. Now think about color and finish. Miso tints a dish and makes it look rich, rounded, and warm. Soy sauce darkens the edges and adds gloss, especially when it hits heat and starts to caramelize. That is exactly why a sticky glaze reaches for soy sauce, while a hearty, comforting soup leans on miso. They are solving two different problems. Picture a simple miso soup. The miso is the whole point, melted into warm dashi until the bowl itself turns savory. Now picture a piece of sushi. The soy sauce never soaks the rice. It waits on the side as a quick, sharp dip right before the bite. And there is real variety hiding inside each one. White miso is young, sweet, and gentle. Red miso is aged far longer, darker, and much more intense. The older it gets, the louder it speaks. Soy sauce has its own family too. Light soy sauce is saltier and made mainly for seasoning. Dark soy sauce is thicker and used more for color and depth. And tamari, the wheat-free cousin, tastes rounder and smoother. There is even a quiet difference in how they salt your food. Miso brings its salt slowly, wrapped inside all that body, while soy sauce delivers it almost instantly, right where your tongue lands first. So when a recipe calls for miso or soy sauce, it is never a random choice. Someone picked body or sharpness on purpose. Here's a simple rule you can carry into any kitchen. If you want to build a dish from the inside, reach for miso. If you want to finish a dish from the outside, reach for soy sauce. Foundation versus final touch. And the moment you start thinking that way, your cooking quietly changes. You stop adding flavor blindly. You start placing it exactly where it belongs. It is a small shift in thinking, but it is the difference between cooking by accident and cooking on purpose. But here's what most people miss. The real question was never miso versus soy sauce, because they are not rivals at all. They are two different answers to the very same ancient question. And that question is surprisingly simple. How do you take a hard, bland soybean and unlock the deep, savory flavor hidden inside it? Japan's answer was koji. The same quiet mold sent down two different roads. One road kept the whole bean and gave us body. The other road kept only the liquid and gave us sharpness. Same starting point, same mold. Two completely different gifts. So miso and soy sauce are not opposites. They are siblings. They share a parent, they share a purpose, and together they cover the full range of savory flavor. That is the real genius of Japanese cooking. Not one perfect sauce, but a system that hands you both ends of the spectrum. Every serious Japanese kitchen keeps both within arm's reach for exactly this reason. They are not choosing sides, they are using a complete toolkit. Once you see them as a team instead of a competition, you finally understand the bowl in front of you. So here is your takeaway. Miso builds, soy sauce finishes, and koji is the quiet reason both of them exist. Master those two, and you are holding the savory backbone of an entire cuisine. Now, I'm genuinely curious about your kitchen. Which one is sitting in your fridge right now, miso or soy sauce? Tell me in the comments what you actually use it for. If this video helped you understand these two a little better, please leave a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, join Food Decoded for more culinary clarity every week. If you want to go deeper, the video on the left breaks down soy sauce on its own and why most people end up buying the wrong one. And on the right, you can decode miso, the single ingredient that started this whole journey. See you in the next one.